I believe that there is something out there that they always say that they didn't cross fully like after death. So, I mean, I believe that there could be that spirit around here somewhere.
Probably not, because if somebody's dead, you want them to be at peace. So if I'm messing with somebody, disturbing with somebody, they're not at peace like they should be. So no.
I would be pretty scared. I'd actually be pretty worried because that means cardio. I'm not trying to run from any ghosts.
My name is Esmeralda, and how some students may know, others may not know of the haunted places of SFA. One of the most known is the Turner Auditorium in the theater building. Chester is the name of the ghost that haunts the auditorium. Chester is believed to be the ghost of the architect who died before the building's completion. It is said that Chester misinterpreted the blueprints and the building was erected backwards. After learning his plans were backwards, the legends say Chester took his own life in disgrace. Although not being able to enter the building to see if we could meet Chester, theater students in the past have felt his presence by random intense cold spots in the building and strange noises. One time, he was even caught on camera. In the play of Macbeth, Chester stood in for one of the actors who was casted for one of the ghost parts, who got ill and could not make it for the show. Aside from the auditorium, there's Maze and Griffith Hall that are also haunted, the Stone Fort Museum, and what's more scarier than a graveyard at night. Some friends and I went out to see if we could find any ghosts. Before Maze Hall was a dormitory, it was a hospital with the morgue in the basement. At the opposite end of the basement is a deep bomb shelter that was built in the early 1940s. Some students speculate that someone who died in the hospital, or perhaps someone who was stored in the morgue, is unhappy and is haunting the building to this day. Unlike the bomb shelter that is still pretty creepy, the morgue, which has been remodeled, is not as scary as it used to be. But at night times, when you go down there, you are bound to get the heebie-jeebies just by looking into the window. Most of the times it is locked so that no one enters, but there have been some occasions where it was just left open and people are bound to go in.
Well, I've lived here in Maze for about 3 years now, and I've only had one experience, and it was with this guy right here. And we were in our room, and we had like a stack of ramen like all college students have. And first off, we hear like a bang on the desk. But it was just me and him, and we were on our phones, and nobody was doing nothing. So we look up at each other, and in the corner of my eye, and his corner of eye, we see that pile of ramen, the top two noodles, spin and turn. And then I look at him, I'm like, did you just see that? And out of disbelief, we both saw it, and it happened. And after that, I had nothing else happen, but that was pretty interesting. A loud bang, and then the top two noodles of the ramen just twist like that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, vouch.
Nope, I'm done.
We went to the basement of Maze. Supposedly the morgue was here at this little location, but this door obviously is locked. You can't.
Okay, so admittedly, the main building has what used to be the morgue, but they turned it into a janitor's kind of workspace. It has all of their like barrels and buckets and nails and tools and things, but we do also have a bomb shelter down in one of the study rooms that's being turned into a office for someone, and within that closet there's the bomb shelter for the old nursing student center, which is this building. And it's stripped, it's dirty, it's dark, there's no lights, there's a big hole in the ground that leads into the earth. There's an old shoe that has that creepy thing, and it's said that, like, it's haunted because it's an old nursing home, but that's the bomb shelter is more creepy than the actual morgue is, because the morgue has been redone.
Another place said to be haunted is Griffith Hall.
So apparently this hall is haunted by the ghost of the CA that killed him or herself. I still have not confirmed the gender. But yeah, it's sometimes knowing this, it feels weird. Especially when you're walking out at 2 a.m. just to go to the restroom, and the hall is apparently dark all the time. I don't know why, but I got used to it. No, I don't necessarily believe that there's a ghost here, but I like the idea that there might be, and I'm open up to living with a ghost. You know, he or she hasn't done anything bad, so yeah, I'm good.
It has been said that a CA of Griffith Hall jumped out of her window on the 3rd floor in the south wing after playing with the Ouija board. Some residents say they have seen a girl at the end of the hall with tattered clothes, but when they go to look again, she's gone. Others say that her presence is at its highest around 2 a.m., where footsteps can be heard and community showers lights flicker.
I know that if you go in before graduation, that you actually won't graduate from SFA. I would not go in there. I'm superstitious, and so if anything's going to keep me from graduation, I'm probably going to stay away from it.
The campus of Stephen F. Austin State University is home to a fort. This fort was a trading post, a private home, a church, a jail, and a saloon, but never an actual fort. A fort that was built 3 times and a fort that was torn down by men and rebuilt by women. Today it is known as the Storm Fort Museum, and there are hardly any students that enter this place. At least until after graduation, of course. There's an old superstitious saying that if you go in there before graduation, something will happen and you won't graduate on time, or at all. And right now, me and my crew, we're at the Oak Grove Cemetery, and we're a little creeped out, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I heard like a rock.
Are you scared, Lacey?
No, I'm not scared. But I want something to happen. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Are you scared, Edgar?
I'm excited.
I kind of like this stuff, so.
It's like my first time.
At the Oak Grove Cemetery.
Cemetery.
Aside from being scary at nighttime, the Oak Grove Cemetery holds a lot of historical people in it. One of the most important ones to Texas and Nacogdoches is Thomas Jefferson Rusk. He was a commander-in-chief in the Army in 1836 after Sam Houston was wounded, and he was also a signer of the Texas Declaration of Independence. After that, he held many positions in the political office.
Where are we, guys?
We're at Oak. What's it called?
Oak River?
Oak Grove Cemetery.
Being at the graveyard, we didn't get a whole lot of supernatural action, but while not rolling, 2 of my crew members swore they heard a swing set moving in the background, yet there was no swings at the graveyard.
When you hear the little swing, it's like, and we all heard it, and I was like, so I ran out.
I mean, it is what it is.
Though none of us had any past ghost experience from the Oak Grove Cemetery, one of my crew members had a story to tell us from one of his experience at a different cemetery.
It was our senior year of high school. We're going to this graveyard site that they buried slaves at. And we just decided to go check it out because, you know, it was like this myth that if you go out there, you'll see some things. And so we just want to go check it out. What was weird was it was a super, super cold night. It was like, I want to at least say 40 degrees. And what was scary about it was like super windy. And as soon as we entered this graveyard, I kid you not, like as soon as we entered the entrance of the graveyard, it stopped blowing wind and it wasn't even cold. It was just neutral air. And so like, it was weird because it was so cold, but as soon as we got there, it was just like normal, it was neutral. And so we're just walking around, no big deal. And we find this big old pit, this big pit in the middle of the graveyard. And I want to say it's like at least 8 to 10 feet deep. And one of my friends, Vincent, he goes, I'm gonna jump in, and of course we're like, he's a crazy guy, so we're like, yeah, go ahead, why not? So he jumps in, and we can't see him because it's so pitch black, that pit. And I've never seen Vincent freaked out so much in my life, because as soon as he walked in, like, I see him jump out. Like, he just jumps out this well, eyes wide, and he says that he heard something. So we take off. We just start running. And we're just running and running and running and running. And then, like, I just remember, like, so much adrenaline running through my veins that, like, there's this, like, I want to say, like, at least a 5 foot, 6 foot gate. And I just cleared it. And everybody else was, like, trying to get stuck at the gate. But it was just crazy that how, like, adrenaline could get you to jump over things that you can't normally do without, you know, adrenaline pumping. And so, like, out of everybody there, he's like, I swear he heard something in the bushes. And that's why we hit the jets and left. So that's pretty much our story for that one.
After our ghost hunting, I decided to ask my crew what they thought.
It was different. For sure different.
This girl right here, yes, I'm scared for my life.
I didn't get scared once.
Yeah?
I didn't get scared at all. I was true.
You didn't run?
I didn't run.
You didn't run?
There's no video of that. Nope, I'm done.
Where are you going? You scared?
Not down there. Why are you scared? So you don't believe, Waffle? Nah, dude.
It was my first time in Graveside. It was very interesting.
That was your first time?
Mm-hmm. So, it was nice paying my respects.
Would you ever do something like this again?
Yes.
I'd say we do it like next time, but at midnight to make it like creepier.
Or like go into more scary things. I don't know.
Or do y'all believe that SFA is haunted, or are y'all?
I don't know. As of SFA, I think a lot of areas surrounding SFA is more haunted than SFA.
Yeah. Being that Nacogdoches is one of the oldest cities in Texas. There's a lot of history here for a couple of months.
Being that Nacogdoches is the oldest town in Texas, it holds a lot of historical memories and landmarks. With the help of the Boy Scouts of America, they have made a ghost trail that marks those significant places. Quoted from their book, they say, "These people, these places, these events are our ghosts of Nacogdoches. They have been well documented in the history of the place. Every one of us that enters the place leaves a little behind us, so we too become the ghosts of Nacogdoches." You can start by visiting the Visitor Center downtown. There they will give you a map to guide you through the trail. And throughout the trail you'll find these little green markers that show you that you have found the place. Number 3 on the list is the statue of Antonio Gil Ibarbo. If you didn't already know, he was the founder of Nacogdoches, Texas. Down the way you will find the Old Time String Shop. This place used to be the home of John S. Roberts, signer of the Texas Declaration of Independence, and later was a cafe where it said that Bonnie Parker of Bonnie and Clyde worked as a waitress before she met Clyde. What is now known as City Hall was once the home of John Forbes and the first home of Sam Houston. You can start seeing the historical significance behind these places, and there are way more to come. Across from City Hall is the Hoya Land Office. This was the first fireproof structure in Nacogdoches. It has a double brick wall with an airspace in between, a steel reinforced ceiling and floor, and the windows and doors have an exterior iron structure. Down the line we come to a place we've already seen, the Oak Grove Cemetery. As mentioned before, it has a lot of significant people buried here. Also on the list is the gravesite of Thomas J. Rusk, the most significant person buried here. More down you have the oldest university in Texas, the Old Nacogdoches University, also known as the Mother of Education in Texas. It was founded in 1845. This structure has been used as a school, barracks for occupying Union troops, and a hospital for Confederate soldiers. Now it is a museum run by the Nacogdoches Federation of Women's Clubs. Directly east from the old university building is the Caddo Indian Mound. This is the last of many Indian mounds built in Nacogdoches by the Caddo Indians in about 1250 AD. All the other mounds have been destroyed, usually for construction fill dirt. Later you'll find the statue of Carly Wilson Baker. She was an author and a poet, and only came to visit Nacogdoches at first, but later she fell in love with the beauty of the surrounding nature and moved here. The trail also leads you to places on the SFA campus, like the Old Stone Fort, the Rusk Building, and the statue of Stephen F. Austin, the father of Texas. We didn't get to all of the places on the trail because that ruins all the fun for you. You'll just have to find those out on your own. A town does not become the oldest town in Texas without the history. Even with the real events in the past, some folks believe you can still feel these spirits and ghosts when you travel or visit where they lived and died on the streets of Nacogdoches. When we walk, when we talk, or even when we play, we are captured by the spirits of those persons who have come before us. They live both in our near and distant pasts. These ghosts have given us a legacy that allows us to live our lives.